Before we begin to pray, before you whisper a single request, or gather the strength to speak from your heart, I want you to hear one truth, not to impress you, not to pressure you, but to gently awaken something inside you that may have been asleep for a long time. God is canceling debts you didn't even know were holding you back. Not just financial debts, not only numbers on paper, but invisible burdens, worries, fears, and silent limitations that have been weighing on your spirit for far longer than you realized. You did not fail to deserve this weight. You did not do everything wrong to end up here. And you are not listening to this by accident. If these words have found you in this moment, there is meaning in it, even if you don't fully understand why yet. I am not here to blame you for past choices, not here to tell you that you lacked faith, discipline, or effort. Not here to say you should have tried harder. There is no accusation here, no judgment, only grace, and one gentle reminder you may need more than anything right now. You are not alone. You may have learned how to keep going. You may still show up, still work, still smile when required. But deep inside, there is a quiet exhaustion that words cannot fully explain. A heaviness you wake up with, a pressure in your chest that never quite leaves. Not panic, just the feeling that something has been weighing on you for too long. And maybe, just maybe, you've wondered whether God sees this part of you at all. Let this moment answer that question clearly. He sees you, He knows you, and He is listening right now. You may not have expected to hear this today. You may have pressed play out of curiosity, desperation, or simple fatigue. But if something inside you feels recognized, if these words feel uncomfortably accurate, that is not coincidence. That is the beginning of faith being awakened, not with noise, but with understanding. Some struggles do not announce themselves. They don't scream. They don't explode. They simply sit with you quietly, day after day, bills piling up, numbers running endlessly through your mind, money coming in and going out, yet never seeming to be enough. You open your phone and your stomach tightens. A notification, a reminder, another due date. Sometimes it's not even the lack of money that hurts the most. It's the confusion, not knowing where to start, not knowing which decision will make things worse or better. And then there is the pressure no one sees. The pressure to stay silent. You don't want to worry your family. You don't want friends to judge you. You don't want to be looked at with pity or suspicion. So you carry it alone. You say you're fine. You keep moving. You handle what you can. But in the quiet moments, late at night, when the room is dark and the noise finally fades, the questions return. Why can't I get ahead? What did I miss? Will this ever change? If you have ever asked those questions, hear this slowly and clearly. God sees even what you try to hide. He sees more than bank statements, more than overdue bills. He sees the shame you never spoke aloud, the nights you lay awake pretending not to worry, the tears you swallowed because you didn't feel allowed to cry. You do not have to clean yourself up to be heard by God. You do not have to pretend strength before coming to Him. In fact, it is in this exact place, this quiet, tired, honest place, that God draws closest. You are not weak for feeling this way. You are human, and you are seen. There is something important you need to understand, something rarely said this plainly. There is a supernatural move of God happening. Not always loud, not always dramatic, but very real. And it is not an accident that you are listening to this prayer right now. In the natural world, nothing may look different yet. The bills may still be there. The numbers may not have changed. But in the spiritual realm, something has already begun to shift. This moment matters. This timing is not empty. Faith does not begin when all problems disappear. Faith begins when you realize you are no longer facing them alone. There are doors effort cannot open. There are knots logic cannot untangle. And there are burdens only heaven can lift. If a small sense of hope is stirring inside you, even if it's fragile, hold on to it. That is not imagination. That is not wishful thinking. That is the first sign of faith awakening. We have not finished praying yet, but something has already started. And from this moment forward, things will not remain exactly the same. So now, before we go any further, I invite you to slow down. You don't need perfect words. You don't need to sound strong. You don't need to explain everything. Just breathe. Let your shoulders relax. Let the tension in your jaw soften. Let your thoughts settle, even if only a little. Right here in this quiet moment, you are allowed to stop fighting. You are allowed to admit that you've been carrying more than you were meant to carry alone. And if it feels unfamiliar to be still, that's okay. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is where faith learns how to speak. So gently, turn your attention toward God. Not the version of Him shaped by fear or disappointment, but the God who sees you fully, yet does not turn away. You don't need to hide your anxiety. You don't need to edit your doubts. You don't need to prove gratitude before asking for help. Just come as you are. Because prayer does not begin when you sound confident. It begins when you are honest. And right now, honesty is enough. God, we come before you now, not with polished words, but with open hearts. You see the weight we've been carrying. You see the financial strain that has followed us from month to month. You see the fear that rises every time another bill appears, every time the numbers don't add up. And right now, we place it in your hands, not symbolically, not halfway, but fully. God, we declare that debt does not define us, lack does not own us, fear does not have the final word. We declare that you are our provider, not the economy, not circumstances, not chance. In the name of faith, we speak cancellation over unseen burdens. We speak release over financial pressure. We speak peace where anxiety has lived for too long. God, break cycles that have repeated for years, patterns we couldn't explain, doors that never seem to open. If there has been confusion, bring clarity. If there has been stagnation, bring movement. If there has been loss, bring restoration in ways we do not expect. We release shame right now, shame that told us we were behind, shame that told us we failed, shame that kept us silent when we needed help. That shame is not from you. Replace it with wisdom. Replace it with courage. Replace it with peace that does not depend on numbers. God, align opportunities we could not arrange ourselves. Bring provision through unexpected channels. Guide our decisions, not with fear, but with discernment. And even before circumstances change, change us. Change how we see. Change how we trust. Change how we rest. We declare that breakthrough is not just coming, it is already being prepared. Now take another breath. Notice what feels different. Maybe nothing around you has changed yet, but something inside you has shifted, and that matters. You do not have to solve everything tonight. You do not have to figure out the next 10 steps. You only need to trust the next one. God is not rushed. God is not overwhelmed. And God has not forgotten your name. What you placed in His hands will not be dropped. So tonight, or this moment, allow yourself to rest. Not because everything is fixed, but because you are no longer carrying it alone. Let peace settle where anxiety used to live. Let faith take the place of fear. Let hope remain, even quietly. And if tomorrow brings questions again, that's okay. Return to this truth as many times as you need. God is still working, even when you cannot see it. You are covered, you are seen, you are not behind. And the story is not over yet. Amen. As we come out of this moment of prayer, there is something important to remember. Faith does not always feel dramatic. It does not always arrive with instant results or visible change. Most of the time, faith looks quiet. It looks like choosing not to panic when the same situation appears again. It looks like taking one small step instead of trying to solve everything at once. It looks like trusting God even when your emotions haven't caught up yet. So if you open your eyes and the world still looks the same, that does not mean this prayer failed. It means the work has moved from the unseen into the process. God often changes direction before He changes circumstances. He prepares the heart before He prepares the outcome. And from this moment on, you are walking forward differently. Not because you suddenly have all the answers, but because you are no longer walking alone. There may still be days when fear tries to return, days when numbers don't make sense, days when you feel tempted to fall back into old patterns of worry. When that happens, don't condemn yourself. Simply pause, breathe, and remember what you placed into God's hands today. You are not required to carry tomorrow's weight today. Grace is given daily, not all at once. And sometimes the greatest sign of faith is not bold action, but quiet endurance. You are learning how to trust again, how to rest without guilt, how to believe without forcing certainty. That is not weakness, that is growth. Before we close completely, let me say this with care and honesty. If this prayer spoke to you, if something inside you softened, if you felt seen, understood, or less alone, you are not the only one. There are many people carrying silent financial stress, many people praying in private, many people searching for peace more than quick answers. And this space exists for that reason, not to pressure you, not to promise instant miracles, but to walk this journey of faith together, slowly, honestly, and without judgment. If you feel led, I invite you to stay connected. You can subscribe to this channel as a quiet way of saying, I want to keep choosing faith even on difficult days. You can follow along so that when you need prayer, encouragement, or stillness, this space is here, waiting for you. No obligation, no expectation, just a place to return when your heart feels heavy again. And if you ever find yourself coming back, late at night, early in the morning, or in moments when words are hard to find, know that you belong here. Let this be a reminder you can revisit. God is still working. Provision is still possible. Peace is still available. You don't have to rush. You don't have to prove anything. Just keep showing up. And as you go forward from this moment, may you walk with lighter steps, clearer thoughts, and a heart that knows it is not forgotten. Thank you for taking this time to pray. Thank you for trusting this moment. And thank you for being here. Amen.